Hello, my name is Adam White, and this is my persuasive speech on lane splitting, and this is my audience. So lane splitting is when two motorcycles either ride next to each other in one lane, or when there's traffic, they ride over the white lines in between all the cars, so they don't have to stay at the back of the traffic. People most of the time think that lane splitting is unsafe because motorcycles are going in between cars, which is very close to the cars, and they think they could either get sideswiped or get hit by a car changing lanes. When in fact, this is actually untrue. Lane splitting is more safe than most people think, and I think lane splitting should be legalized. Lane splitting cuts down on getting rear-ended in the back of traffic. It also makes you less likely for major fatal injuries or accidents. And lane splitting can cut down on your carbon footprint that we're leaving. Most people don't actually think about that, but it does cut down on your carbon footprint. And lane splitting also stops bikes and riders from overheating in the back of traffic. So lane splitting is controversial because people think that you'll get hit by cars going changing lanes, or you'll get sideswiped, when in fact you're actually you're more likely to get rear-ended by a car at the back of traffic than when you are lane splitting. Most people actually have a hard time seeing brake lights on a motorcycle because they're so small, or aren't paying attention or texting and run into motorcycles. I have become a statistic of this epidemic, actually. I was at the back of traffic one day, and the person behind me was texting and not paying attention, and ran into the back of my bike and pushed me into the car in front of me, which totaled my bike. Fortunately, I was okay, but that totally could have been prevented if I was just lane splitting. I would have been anywhere near that car, and I would have been on my way. When people think of lane splitting, they think of motorcycles zipping by and going very fast, when in reality, you're only going about 15 to 20 miles an hour while all the cars are stopped. When people also think of lane splitting, they think that a motorcycle will get cut off and will run into the car that is changing lanes. And I'm not going to say this never happens, because it does happen, but there's an easy way to stop that. And that's actually the driver checking their blind spot and their mirror before they change lanes. And in fact, you're actually taught that in driver's ed and every class. That's the first thing you have to do, is check your blind spot in your mirror before you change lanes. Now, lane splitting can also prevent fatal injuries. Obviously, I haven't been in a fatal accident yet, but I have been in an accident because of I was not allowed to lane split and people cutting me off. Now, when you can't lane split and you're slowing down in the back of traffic, a lot of cars will change lanes to get into the right lane so they can either go faster or get to their exit because of all the traffic, and can easily cut off a motorcycle. And if they are lane splitting, then you won't have to slow down too much, and you can just go actually keep your speed up a little bit and just go in between cars, and you won't have to deal with that. And actually, because of the picture on my slide, those are my hands, and that happened on my graduation day. I decided to go pick up my girlfriend before my graduation on my bike, and I was going up to some traffic. I was slowing down, and the car in front of me cut 3 lanes over and cut me off. I ran into the back of his car, which caused me to go over my bike, over his car, and slide across the highway. Now, obviously that was no fun, and it really ruined my graduation, but it totally could have been prevented, and I would have been fine if I was just lane splitting, because I wouldn't have had to slow down so much, and I would have been able to go in between the cars and been on my way. According to iDriveSafely.com, if 10% of cars were replaced by motorcycles, traffic will be cut down by 65%, and our carbon footprint will be cut down by 6%. Now, 6% doesn't seem like a lot, but every little bit counts, and 65% of traffic being cut down is just unheard of. Now, by riding a motorcycle, you already do decrease your carbon footprint because you produce less carbon, but sitting in the back of traffic and not being able to lane split doesn't help too much because you're still in the back of traffic idling, burning gas, which is obviously bad for the environment. I try my best to be as environmentally friendly as I can. I ride my bike if I can. I'll find another ride. I won't drive my car as much. And if I were lane splitting, then I would be cutting down on the carbon in the air, and I would be on my way, and I wouldn't have to deal with overheating, producing more carbon, and just being stuck in the back of traffic. Oh, actually stay on that side. No, okay, yeah. Switch sides. Sorry. I'll go back. No, I'm on the right side. Now, those two bikes on there are both of my bikes, and there are two different types of bikes. One bike has a radiator and the other one does not. But all bikes do overheat. And even with a radiator on your motorcycle, it doesn't help too much because the radiator is the size of a matchbox, which can't cool down an engine that fast. And operating temperature of an engine on a sport bike is 170 degrees. And damage to an engine starts around 210 degrees. And actually, engine failure occurs around 220 degrees. That's when your heads on your bike get warped and your bike pretty much gets totaled. Now, it doesn't seem like that much, but going from 170 to 220 degrees is very easy in a motorcycle. Sitting in the back of traffic, that can happen within 15 to 20 minutes, even with a radiator. And without a radiator, your motorcycle is just air cooled. So you have to keep moving for your bike to stay cool. And with lane splitting, you're moving the whole time, which will keep all bikes cool, and it'll also keep the rider cooled down. Because in the summer, it's very hot, and most motorcyclists wear a lot of gear. I'll wear my helmet, my jacket, my pants. Now, to help with that in the summer, I wear this, which is just a spine protector. And so I don't have a jacket on, so I do risk more by my arms getting messed up if I do have an accident. But it's very hot and I can't lane split, so I do have to stop at the back of traffic and sit there and just sweat. Most people don't think about that because all cars have air conditioning, or at least have the option to have air conditioning, and all you have to do is roll up your window and sit in the air conditioning in the back of traffic. Motorcyclists have to sit there on top of a hot bike, standing in the heat, and just sitting there sweating and can't really do anything about it. And I really think that's another strong opinion because I really think lane splitting should be legal so I don't have a heat stroke. Okay. Now, there are more reasons why lane splitting should be legal, and if you ask any other motorcyclist, I guarantee they'll come up with another great idea of why it should be legal. But those are my top 4 reasons why lane splitting should be legal. And actually, everywhere else in the world it is legal, and it's also legal in California, but the rest of the U.S. it is illegal. I just wish everyone could open up their eyes and see that there is more advantages than there are safety risks when it comes to lane splitting. And I think if you're a rider and you want to lane split, he or she should be able to do so. Thank you very much.